At its core, an appraisal is an independent opinion of value. It's not the listing price, and it's not what the seller hopes the property is worth. It's the appraiser's opinion of fair market value based on data and a defined process. And there is a process behind every appraisal. First, the appraiser defines the scope of work, what the assignment is, and what's required. Then they do preliminary research, looking at the property, the neighborhood, and the overall market. Next is the site inspection, where they walk through the property in person. After that, they analyze the data, including comparable sales, and develop a report with a final opinion of value. The site inspection is where the appraiser physically walks the property. They're looking at several things. First is the overall condition, how well the property has been maintained, whether there's deferred maintenance or any visible issues. Then the layout and functionality, how the home flows, the room count, and how the usable space is. And finally, physical characteristics, things like square footage, lot size, age of the property, and overall construction quality. One of the most important things to understand is how appraisers actually arrive at a value. The primary method used for residential properties is the sales comparison approach. That means we're comparing the subject property to similar homes that have recently sold. And this is key. Appraisers use closed sales, not listings or pending sales. Closed sales represent what the market has actually agreed properties are worth. We then make adjustments for differences between the subject and the comparables. And finally, we reconcile all the data to arrive at a final, defensible opinion of value. A helpful tip for agents is that closed sales show where the market has been, while active and pending listings show where the market is heading. Both are important when pricing a property, and both should be researched. There are several key factors that impact value. Location is a big one, including things like schools, amenities, and overall neighborhood trends. Condition and upgrades also matter, how well the property is maintained, any renovations, and the overall layout. Market conditions are another factor, supply, demand, and timing. And there can also be legal considerations like zoning, easements, and other restrictions. When working with the appraiser, there are a few simple ways you can help the process go more smoothly. Making sure all buildings on the property are accessible is a big one. That includes all rooms, any outbuildings, and making sure utilities are on. The appraiser will be required to take interior photos of these areas, so ensure they have access. Having information about updates or improvements can also be helpful. It doesn't have to be anything formal, just anything that gives context to what's been done to the property. Things like receipts, permits, or a basic list of improvements can help fill the gaps. The appraiser should never have to guess about improvements, including when they were completed. And overall, it's really about making sure the appraiser has a clear understanding of the property. As an agent, you absolutely play a role in the appraisal process, but it's important to understand what that role is. You can provide the appraiser with information, things like comparable sales, upgrades, or anything that adds factual support. That can be very helpful, but the appraiser has to remain independent, and that means the outcome isn't something that can be influenced. It has to be supported by the data.